getting other people to do what you want is arguably the most important skill, because if you have that one skill, it unlocks every other skill that every other person potentially has. The problem is, other people don't always do what you want them to do.
And while Alex lays out this brilliant tactical framework, it's worth pausing to understand the profound philosophy underneath it. The star system's true power isn't found in the sequence of its questions, but in the fundamental mindset shift it demands from anyone who uses it seriously. This is not merely a management tool or a conversational tactic. It's what we might call a reality alignment protocol. Its primary function is to systematically close the dangerous gap that naturally exists between one person's intention and another's interpretation. Most friction, project delays, and outright failures are not born from malice or incompetence. They emerge from the subtle, silent fact that the leader and the team member are looking at the same objective but through different lenses, operating from slightly different blueprints of reality. The leader's most vital role, therefore, is not simply to command, but to act as a meticulous calibrator, working tirelessly to ensure everyone is not just on the same page, but reading from the exact same word. This gap in reality is not an accident. It is a predictable feature of human psychology, stemming from a cognitive bias known as the curse of knowledge. The moment we know something intimately, a strategy, a process, or a critical piece of data, our minds find it nearly impossible to simulate what it feels like to not possess that knowledge. A leader, swimming in the full context of their vision, naturally assumes their priorities are self-evident and their reasoning is transparent. They believe they are communicating clearly, but they are often only sharing the tip of the iceberg, while the vast, submerged mass of context remains invisible to their team. The star system functions as the powerful, systematic antidote to this curse. It is a framework of inquiry that intentionally breaks the spell of assumption, forcing the leader to excavate their own implicit knowledge and lay it bare for all to see. It transforms the unspoken, everybody knows, into the concrete. Here is exactly what we need to do and why. The star system begins its assault on ambiguity with the most foundational question: did they know that you wanted it done? This first step is far more than a simple check for understanding. It is the deliberate creation of a psychological contract. When a request is verbalized, it floats in the air, subject to interpretation and fading memory. But when it is written down and acknowledged, it transforms. It solidifies from a casual suggestion into a formal, shared commitment. This isn't born from a place of mistrust, but from a profound respect for reality itself. It acknowledges that human minds are imperfect, memories are selective, and the spoken word is transient. By documenting that, you are not questioning their integrity. You are honoring the fragility of communication. You establish a clear, indisputable starting point, a point zero for execution upon which all subsequent accountability can be fairly and accurately built. Without this firm anchor of awareness, any attempt at managing the task is built on shifting sand. With the contract of awareness in place, the framework advances to its architectural phase, defining the what. This step moves beyond mere assignment and into the meticulous construction of a shared mental blueprint. The objective is to ensure that the image of the final, desired outcome in your mind is perfectly replicated in theirs. Hormozi's analogy to AI prompt engineering is profoundly relevant here. We are discovering that to command a powerful intelligence, we must be ruthlessly precise in our requests. If such specificity is required for a machine, how can we expect less to suffice for a complex human mind, with its own unique biases and contexts? This pursuit of precision is not a burden. It is the ultimate form of professional respect. It respects the other person's time and talent by refusing to waste them on guesswork. Vague instructions are attacks on productivity, forcing people to burn energy on interpretation rather than execution. Therefore, spending the extra moments to architect this clarity is a leader's highest leverage work, preventing hours of future rework and confusion. Even with a perfect blueprint, a structure cannot be built without the knowledge of construction. This leads us to the third pillar of the star system. Did they possess the knowledge of how to do it? Here, we confront a doctrine of profound leadership ownership, the belief that everything is trainable. This is not a statement of naive optimism, but a radical acceptance of responsibility. It reframes a performance gap away from an employee's supposed inability and toward the leader's ability to effectively teach. A manager searches for capable people. A leader understands their duty is to build them. They see a skill deficiency. not as a dead end, but as an invitation to deconstruct complexity. This principle compels them to break down a sophisticated process into a series of simple, learnable steps, and then transfer that knowledge effectively. By investing in the how, you are doing more than solving a single problem. You are empowering an individual with a new capability, creating a more resilient team, and forging a system of scalable excellence. A team may have a perfect blueprint and the skills to build, but without a timeline, progress remains undefined. This introduces the fourth critical element, the when. Approaching this question is not merely about setting a deadline. It is about a leader consciously defining the rhythm and tempo of the entire organization. Like a conductor guiding an orchestra, the leader uses the when to control the pace of execution, ensuring every action contributes to a cohesive and timely performance. Hormozi's concept of an end-of-day default perfectly captures this philosophy. It's a deliberate cultural choice that compounds velocity over time. An organization that operates on daily cycles learns and adapts at a rate that is orders of magnitude faster than one that thinks in weekly or monthly terms. The goal is to cultivate a culture of proactive urgency, not reactive panic. Panic is the result of poor planning. Urgency is a shared value, a calm and focused intensity that recognizes time as the most precious, non-renewable asset. Mastering the when transforms a leader from a taskmaster into a true conductor of velocity after constructing this pyramid of clarity, confirming the that, architecting the what, teaching the how, and setting the when we arrive at the system's final diagnostic filter. This last step, inquiring into circumstances, is where the framework achieves its ultimate precision. Having neutralized all internal variables of misunderstanding and inability, a leader can now isolate external obstacles with confidence. This is the crucial stage for separating legitimate logistical blockages from what might be perceived as excuses. It is a calm, rational process designed to pinpoint the true impediment. The question, what is preventing you, is asked not with accusation, but with the detached curiosity of a detective. It allows real-world issues, like a down server, to be identified as the genuine root cause. The purpose of this filter is not to find fault, but to find truth. So both leader and team member can pivot from diagnosis to collaborative problem solving. But what happens when the identified circumstance is not an immovable wall, but a solvable puzzle? This is the moment of ultimate revelation within the STAR system. Here, the focus shifts from diagnosing the task to understanding the character of the individual. We are no longer measuring their understanding or their skill. We are measuring a far more elemental quality, their personal agency. This is the I don't have any eggs problem Hormozi so brilliantly illustrates. An individual with low agency will simply report the fact there are no eggs, viewing the obstacle as the end of their responsibility. An individual with high agency, however, understands the intent was an omelette. They see the lack of eggs not as a full stop, but as the first problem to solve. They go find the eggs. This is the great dividing line. It is the difference between executing instructions and owning an outcome, between a passive follower and a future leader, between someone who requires management and someone who drives the mission forward. Before we conclude, we must turn this powerful lens inward. The STAR system's most profound use is not as a tool for managing others, but as a mirror for leading ourselves. Consider that great ambition you hold, that project you keep postponing. Ask yourself with unflinching honesty, why are you not doing what you know you should be doing? Is it truly a lack of motivation, or is it a lack of clarity on the what? Have you defined the very next step with such precision that it's impossible to misinterpret? Or is it a gap in the how? Is there a specific skill you lack that, if learned, would unleash your progress? And finally, look at your circumstances. Are you genuinely blocked by an insurmountable wall? Or are you simply telling yourself that you have no eggs? Are you allowing a solvable inconvenience to become the grand excuse for your stagnation? This framework strips away our self-deception and forces a precise diagnosis, transforming us from the subject of our own excuses into the driver of our own results. Ultimately, the STAR system is more than a framework. It's a path to building a culture defined by clarity, velocity, and agency. If this deeper insight resonated with you, subscribe for more analyses and share in the comments how this principle shifts your perspective. To get the full original context from the source, make sure to watch Alex's complete video linked in the description below.